Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. I'm Nick Bujiu, and today I'm joined by David Yeo, who is the founder of Innovez One, a company that is helping ports walk into the digital age. David, thank you very much for joining me today. My first question is, what is deep tech and how does it help ports?
Essentially, there are many definitions of deep tech, but one specific one, which is more related to what we do, is essentially using uh, um, machine learning algorithms, AI technologies. Those are usually associated with deep tech, but about discovering algorithms that applies to big data, particularly a lot of the data that the ports generate that can be used that we can apply algorithms on to create to predict certain events or to predict or to provide better decision making to the stakeholders. So for Innovez One, we use machine learning algorithms to essentially combine that with scheduling algorithms to create efficient allocations for nautical services.
Why do you think that ports are generally slow to adopt deep tech and technology in general? And do you think that in recent months this has changed?
Well, I think it has definitely accelerated the adoption of digitalization for ports across the world. And we are seeing a lot more tenders coming up, a lot more inquiries. And myself and my colleagues, we have actually, participated in several of these meetings, talking to the ports in Africa, some places in Europe, as well as in Oceanic region, in Australia and New Zealand. Even in Southeast Asia, we have been participating in new tenders. We have just confirmed a new port project in Indonesia, which is a huge port group. So definitely, I think in the past where digitalization seems to be at the something that they just talk about, but in recent months, but because of the pandemic, there is a shift and there is acceleration in the adoption. So I'm quite positive that this is a good change, and we really look forward to contributing to this particular sector.
And when it comes to costs and when it comes to digitizing ports, what are the costs for companies?
Sorry, I didn't get. So there used to be a very huge cost in implementing it, and that can be quite challenging for smaller ports and mid-sized ports. And how we have done it is essentially we are positioned to serve small to large ports, where we offer some sort of subscription model. So instead of saying that it's a hefty cost of implementation, we say, okay, right. So it's going to be based on subscription model, and it's based on the size of your port, how busy is your port. So there's some parameters that we take into consideration when we price the implementation. But essentially, we have done ports with less than 30 movements to ports there's more than 100 movements in a day. So that's quite a big range. But having a solution, but we design a solution to be on the cloud. So we try to keep the overall cost so that and affordable, so that smaller ports can also benefit from this technology.
You talked about it, but how can companies like Innovez One help ports move into the digital age?
So our focus has been to produce a class of software called Port Management Information System, which is in the West, in Europe, particularly in the UK, they call it PMIS. And what it does essentially was to optimize the operations, covering the ordering of services to nautical information real time, to being able to schedule allocations of resources like pilots, tugboats, pilot boats, to essentially to deliver services for arriving vessels and departing vessels. And core to our solution was that it has AI and machine learning right in the core of our scheduling engine. to optimize those allocations. Further to that, we also create various applications like mobile apps that can be used by shipping agents, as well as pilots, tugboat masters, the pilot boat masters, so that all this information is real-time transmitted as the job is being completed. So essentially, that's pretty much the strategy of our application, to handle the last mile delivery of a vessel coming into the port, and to optimize those operations.